What's news with Habitat for Humanity of Greater Plymouth? I sat down with Executive Director Amy Belmore to find out. Amy, let's start with a little background on Habitat for Humanity of Greater Plymouth.
Absolutely. Well, we got started back in 1995. We operate underneath the Habitat for Humanity International umbrella, but we serve the local area, just 6 towns, including Plymouth, Carver, Kingston, Lakeville, Middleborough, and Plimpton.
Excellent. And you, to date, have built how many homes?
We just finished one literally last week, so that brings us to 15 new home construction. We've done dozens of renovations and remodels and hundreds of critical home repairs. But in terms of new home construction, 15 homes, that's 60 odd people now living in secure, stable housing.
Can you talk about the new, have they moved into their new home yet?
They are
you
about
handed
to.
over the keys?
They are about to. Yes,
So
they're on the verge.
exciting.
Yeah.
Can we talk about that family?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, this is a single mom. She actually is a DCR ranger. So she is a public employee out both in Miles Standish and in many other DCR parks around this part of the state. And she has a beautiful young daughter, preschool age daughter, and they're just delighted. They can't wait to be moving into their own home. And she'd worked really hard trying to find so many different avenues, different pathways to get to home ownership, and wasn't able to find that opportunity until she applied for Habitat and ended up being the one that landed in this house or is about to land in the house. And so it's emotional, it's thrilling. We're all very excited for her.
And speaking of that exciting opportunity, you're here to talk about another exciting opportunity.
Yes, absolutely. Just as we are excited for her to move into her house, we have also opened up a new application window. And so that means that we are on the verge of starting our next project. This is a 3-bedroom home down in Manomet. And it will be an opportunity for another family. These are income qualified families that live or work in or near our service area towns that I mentioned before. And so the application window is open now. We have a couple of information sessions coming up. The deadline is June 2nd. And so we very much would love, for as many people to apply as are interested and able.
Can we talk about the information sessions for those who are interested? So where will they be and when?
Sure, yeah, absolutely. So the first one is on Sunday, May 18th. It's actually over at the Restore. We'll talk about the Restore maybe a little bit later, but the Restore is at 160 North Main Street in Carver. It's where our offices are as well. That's at 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Sunday, May 18th. And then on Tuesday, May 20th, at 7 p.m., we will be at the Plymouth Public Library, the main branch in the craft room. And so they're not mandatory to attend, but highly recommended. There's a lot of information, a lot of layers that go into Habitat home ownership and the application process. So we do encourage people to come, or if they're not personally able to attend, maybe they can send a friend or a family member. But we would love to see lots of people there.
And there's no registration required for this. They can just show up.
Just show up.
And can we do a quick flyby for somebody who may be watching in respect to financial requirements or criteria?
Sure. Sure, yes. And I know that our web address will be on the screen as well, because on that web page, what people will find, Habitat for Humanity serves an underserved population of people when it comes to home ownership. We serve people who are in the 30 to 60% area median income. And what that means is that people do become affordable mortgage holders, so they need to be earning enough income to support that mortgage. These homes are not gifted. And at the same time, they can't make too much income because this is an affordable home ownership opportunity. And so on the website, there is a chart that describes what the maximum amounts are per. It's based on your household size. Yeah. So, for instance, for a family of 4, it's just over $97,000 would be the maximum amount that a family could make. Actually, it's just under $98,000. But those specifics are on the website, and it really is dependent on the size of your home. And so that's why I encourage everybody to go check that out.
And to go check that out, if they can't make the information sessions, or even if they can, go to hfhplymouth.org/own-a-home.
Yes.
And that will be on the screen. And you can also email info@hfhplymouth.org.
Absolutely.
To find out more. And you have a phone number as well for those. A lot of people like to talk on the phone, person to person,
Yep.
right?
And sometimes there are interesting questions or specific questions that need a conversation. So
And that would be at 508-866-4188.
you got it.
Thank you, Amy.
Thank you.
So let's move on to the engine of Habitat for Humanity is the volunteers.
Entirely.
Right? So who are you in most need of, besides everybody?
I know, besides everybody, right? Well, actually, we do in fact welcome all volunteers from all backgrounds, all walks of life. You don't need to have construction experience to be on a construction build site. We often have many people who don't have, any particular skill set when it comes to the trades. That's very common, and it's sort of part of the Habitat model, and it's really rewarding because people get to learn their own skills along the way and sometimes take those back to their own home to do some fixing up or what have you. So that being said, people who do have some background in trade, or maybe they're good at DIY stuff or good at fixing up their own home, they have some skills to bring. That's always very welcome, of course. And I should also mention that we have many volunteer opportunities that aren't actually building homes. That's where the lion's share of our volunteers spend their time. But we also have volunteers who provide lunches for them because we like to feed our hungry volunteers. So that's an opportunity. We have volunteers at the Restore, in the office, on some of our fundraising committees, and that kind of thing. So it's not just limited to
So there are
construction.
all kinds of ways that people who are interested can help. What about teenagers who are home for the summer and maybe want to keep busy?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, we actually will welcome teenagers. There are limits based on their age, what they can do. You can't be a young teen and be using power tools or on high ladders or things of that nature. But so there are requirements based on how old they are and what they are allowed to perform in terms of tasks. But we have a volunteer manager. Her name is Lynn McManus. She's amazing. And so if there's anybody out there that has a teen, or maybe we often have, it's very common for a parent to come with their teen, and then it's a nice, kind of bonding experience for them, and they're giving back to the community.
For the rest of their lives.
Yeah. So that's definitely an option.
Okay. And of course, donations.
Donations. Yes, in addition to donating time, we of course are always in need of funds to support our work. So we're fortunate to be here in a very giving business community, and we really appreciate all of the discounts and services that are donated to support our work. But there still is a lot of costs that we have to absorb, especially in today's economy and inflation and tariffs and all of that. And so donations are very welcome and appreciated, and you can find a button on our website as well for donating financial support.
Donations, and one way that people can donate and also clean out their homes, or if they're doing a remodel, is the fabulous Restore. Can we talk about it?
Yeah, the Restore is Habitat for Humanity's social enterprise. And so basically it's based over where our location is, over in Carver, and we take in gently used furniture and appliances, cabinets, lighting, home goods, all sorts of material of that nature, and we sell it at deep discount to the public. It is open to the public, and then the proceeds go back to supporting the work of building affordable homes. And so we have a free pickup service. We have a box truck that will circulate around. If you've got a couch or a dining set or something large that you can't transport over to the Restore, we will come over and pick it up for free.
Excellent. So when you say cabinets, imagine I'm doing a kitchen remodel. Would that be something I would contact Restore in advance? Because I would imagine the breakdown or demo of a kitchen. So how would that work?
Yeah, and in fact, we actually, even for couches or dining sets, we like to see photos in advance. And so, again, on our website, you'll find an email address where we ask people to send a photo, and our Restore manager will determine whether or not we can accept it, if we have room or what have you. And we only take high-quality, resaleable goods. But when it comes to cabinets, and this is a really important new program for us, we have a team of skilled employees that will go, and volunteers that will go into someone's home if they're doing a remodel, take those cabinets off the wall so that they don't get demolished and thrown into a dumpster, bring them back to the Restore to turn around and repurpose them, reuse them, and sell them. And again, those proceeds benefit the work of Habitat. And so yes, we do need to schedule that in advance, and of course the truck needs to be scheduled in advance. There are a couple of steps in terms of donating, but we do try to make it easy and quick, and it keeps hundreds, thousands of pounds of goods out of the landfill. So it's a community service in its own right.
It is.
Yeah.
Once again,
Yeah.
the cycle of community benefit and uplift.
That's
Right.
what Habitat is all about, supporting community and building homes for those in need.
Thank you, Amy, for coming by. And when this starts on Strand Avenue in Plymouth, we would love to come down.
Oh,
and
please
see the
do.
build.
Absolutely. We had your crew down on one of our build sites a couple of years ago, and it was amazing, and we'd love to have you back.
I think that's where I met you.
It might have been,
actually.
Elizabeth.
Yeah.
I think so.
It was wonderful. Thank you, Amy.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for watching this story about our community. To see more from the local scene about what's happening in the Plymouth area, subscribe to our channel. And if you have a story idea, send it to story@pactv.org. Thank you, friends.